Oh, hi everyone. This is Vlad Rios, and I am here with my friend and adult entertainer, Scott Reynolds. Remember, we're doing the Preston Lopez Show, season 24. Scott Reynolds happens to be an adult entertainer, but also a writer. So, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, more specifically, I wrote plays. I still do, but not as much as I used to. I've been writing plays since, the first one was actually produced in '74
Wow.
at La Mama. And,
La Mama, where's La Mama?
well, here it's in the East Village,
Okay.
but in Los Angeles, they set up a Los Angeles company.
Okay.
And we opened up the Pilgrimage Theater in 1974. No, 1973. And then the year after, I was in Robert Patrick's acting group, and I wrote a little 10-minute cartoon, and that was the first one that was presented.
And what was the name of the cartoon?
The Hero of the Jungle.
The Hero of the Jungle. So I have to look at my script because it's like I go all over the places if I don't focus. So now you started writing around 1973 in California,
Mm-hmm.
correct? Okay. But now you live in New York.
Right.
You live in New York. All right. I have a book because you have a compilation of different plays that you have wrote over the years.
Right.
Since 1973, I'm assuming. Okay. The name of the book is very appropriate. It's called The Cock Machine. Tell me about the Cock Machine book.
Well, the book itself is a collection of a lot of one-acts and such that I wrote in the '70s that were done in coffee houses and smaller theaters in LA, and then the longer full-length plays were done later,
Okay.
after I got to New York.
So, out of all the plays that you have written in this book, any of them have been produced and have been,
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I have only one play that I actually wrote that was never produced, but it wasn't ready to be performed. I rewrote it once a year for like 7 years, and it never worked. I had multiple readings at different theater companies, and any 10 minutes of it was terrific, but the 10 minutes didn't fit together anywhere. So
Okay.
I finally just gave up on it.
I got you. Now, I am very curious to know about one specific play that I actually love because it was like super, super funny to me. And it's the Cock Machine itself.
Right.
So I want to know a little bit about the Cock Machine, what is it about, and what inspired you to create that specific play?
All right. The Cock Machine is about a man who was jilted on his wedding night, and in hopes of finding his runaway bride, has invented a machine to give men bigger dicks. No one, of course.
That got me thirsty. Go ahead.
So in the play, of course, everyone is appalled at such a notion, but everyone wants one.
Right.
And it just goes from there. It's a very whacked out runaway train kind of nonsense.
Yes. I mean, I read it and I was dying every time that I just like kept reading and reading, and then everybody at the park, because I was at the park, and everybody was like looking at me, why he's laughing, why he's reading. But that's the reason why I was laughing. Now, you have one particular character on this play that I was very curious to know a little bit about, is the babysitter. Where does that character come from?
Oh, well, let me digress a bit. The play was, The Cock Machine it's a ridiculous comedy, but it came out of a response during the AIDS years. This was written in
Okay.
88 and 89 and 90. And things were such hell for the people in the thick of it. But in the meanwhile, the outside responses to AIDS, one example, Hollywood's response to AIDS. We're not going to allow kissing in any more movies. that was their response. I'm thinking, oh my God. So it just seemed to be a world of no reason. We were, I was in ACT UP and we were very focused on getting medicines, and in the meantime, the rest of the planet is becoming dick paranoid. It's like, oh, men are the enemy, dicks are the enemy, dicks are bad.
Okay.
And
they're not bad.
and most of the time. And you asked about the baby seals.
Yes.
This goes way apart from the story of the play, but in the course of the play, while the man is laboring to get his machine on the market and outselling his product beyond production, his adversaries are a group called the Women Against Fur, who are fur activists, animal rights activists, which in the real world, animal rights activism, I understand, and within boundaries, not a bad thing. But to have the animal rights activists protesting against gay memorials because they used to let off balloons, you would write your name on someone's balloon, someone's name on a balloon, and
let it go,
and would float off, and they're saying, it's going out of the ocean and you're killing our fish.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, get a grip.
Yeah, what's next? Yeah.
So that's where the baby seal entered, and the baby seal actually has no real, he's his own little story.
Yes.
Lost in, he had nothing to do with the cock machine, he had nothing to do with the main characters, but it's just this wandering person trying to find a meaning out of life in the middle of all this nonsense.
Okay. I mean, I really enjoyed that so much that it was cracking me up throughout my reading. Now, I want to know, or we want to know, is there anything else that you're working on at the present time?
Well, it's been a while since I've completed a play. I've been writing partial plays for quite a while, but the one I'm focused on now, it's called Dirty Jokes. And Dirty Jokes is a story of a man's life from birth, adolescence, adult life, aged life, to death, and into the beyond, told in nothing but dirty jokes.
Okay.
Because I just feel sometimes, especially these days, that's about what it adds up to. I mean, it's all a dirty joke right now.
Oh yes, and we all have to laugh. I mean, that's really, with the circumstances right now, it's best to laugh about things that take things too seriously right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. Now, I forgot to ask you, from your collection of the cock machine, I like the cock machine itself. Any other play that you like the most out of the collection, or?
There are two, but I'll just mention one,
Okay.
and it's full length. It was a play that was produced downtown at Theater for the New City in 2006, and it's called An Ivar Memoir, and it's a memory play. In the 70s, in the late 70s, 77 and 8, 2 years, I worked at a bottom of the barrel burlesque theater in Hollywood.
Okay.
It was not a classy place. The women were pretty much doing the best they could to survive. I had a very nasty, derisive opinion of them at the time, and over the years I started to understand, that these were really people who were doing their best they could with what was available to them. And it's a memoir of, I had a relationship with one of the dancers, Cindy. It was very sweet to me, and I was not very nice to her, because being gay, and so we'd have sex, and then I'd charge off and find someone in an alley and correct myself, and then run back, and she'd say, "Where have you been?" It was very unkind. But it's a very beautiful piece of work, and it was given an excellent production. A Theater for the New City, directed by Mark Finley, who runs Tassos Theater.
Okay.
We had a wonderful cast, and it was beautifully done. It's my favorite to talk about.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time, but before we go, two things. Thank you so much to our cameraman, Lester Blum. And second, and most important, thank you to Scott Reynolds for being here with us at the Preston Lopez Show, talking about his book, The Cock Machine.
Thank you.
I just gotta tell you what's really on my mind. For years you've been treating us like a second-class mankind. We built this house in sweat, pain, and tears. Now you live and go about whitewash for 400 years. Listen, we are people too. We are people too. We are people too. We can do what you can do. We are people too. We are people too. We are people too. Our respect is overdue. See, we're dancing on our feet while we groove on misery. The revolution will be televised. The revolution will be televised.